Hello. Today, I've got a story to tell you. A story that's creepy, spine-chilling, and even now, I still can't find any answers. Have you ever heard of the abandoned hospital on the outskirts of town? The hospital no one dares to enter. No one dares to stay past the first night. Why? I've wondered the same thing. And today, I'm going to take you deep into this mystery. Are you ready? If you are, listen closely. Because this story is long, and it's far scarier than you might think. Let's start here. This hospital was called Srisuk Hospital. Sounds nice, doesn't it? But now, there's no trace of happiness left. It's just a crumbling old building. Shattered windows. Rotten wooden doors. A leaking roof. And the smell. Oh, God. It's like something decayed, lingering in the air. Some say it smells like blood mixed with old medicine. I've heard people say this place has been abandoned for ages. Ever since that day. And that day, it was the beginning of everything. The beginning of what made everyone so terrified. What was that day? I'll tell you. But I'm warning you. It's terrifying. They say 30 years ago, this hospital was a lifeline for the community. Doctors, nurses, and patients bustling about. Kids playing in the grassy yard next to the building. Everything seemed normal. Until there was this one doctor. Dr. Pear. A beautiful young doctor. Long, jet black hair. Sharp eyes. She was brilliant. Every patient loved her. They say she was kind. Always smiling. Loved telling stories to kids during her breaks. But one night, a stormy night with pouring rain, lightning striking again and again, winds so strong they snapped trees beside the building. Someone rushed in carrying a little girl. Her name was Mew. Only 7 years old. Badly injured. They say Dr. Pear did everything to save Mew. She was in the operating room for hours. Sweat dripping down her face. Hands trembling. But in the end, Mew didn't make it. After that night, Dr. Pear changed. She became withdrawn. Stopped smiling. Stopped talking. She walked around like a soulless shell. And some nights, nurses working the late shift said they heard crying. The sound of a little girl coming from the sealed-up operating room. Sometimes faint. Sometimes so loud it felt like someone was crying right next to your ear. Why? No one knew. But not long after, Dr. Pear vanished. Gone without a trace. No one knew where she went. Some said she ran away. Others said she took her own life. Some even claimed she was dragged away by something. And from that moment on, Strange things started happening at the hospital. I once talked to Uncle Saman. He used to be a security guard there. He said after Dr. Pear disappeared, every night, a dark figure would wander the hallways. A figure that looked like a woman, wearing a doctor's coat, walking slowly. But her face, oh God! Uncle said it was mangled, like something had torn it apart. Sagging skin, bulging eyes. He was terrified. He said he heard whispering too. A voice saying, "Help me. Help me." Sometimes it came from behind him. Sometimes it floated down from the upper floors. Imagine it. A silent night. A dark hallway. Just Uncle's flashlight beam. And that figure wandering. With those whispers. I got chills when he told me. He said he only lasted 3 months before quitting. He couldn't take it. And it wasn't just Uncle Saman. There was another nurse, Aunt Sai. She worked there back when the hospital was still open. She said the night before the hospital shut down, she was on the night shift. Normally, she wasn't scared of anything. She'd seen plenty of patients die. But that night, she heard the sound of medical tools. Like a scalpel hitting the floor, asterisk clink. Clink, asterisk coming from the 3rd floor. She thought a colleague dropped something, so she went to check. The old stairs creaked with every step. When she got to the 3rd floor, no one was there. The operating room was locked tight. But the tools, oh God! They were arranged in a circle. Scalpels, syringes, scissors. Laid out in a perfect circle. Like someone had done it on purpose. Aunt Sai said her legs were shaking. Her heart was pounding. She ran downstairs. And never went back to work there. She said, that wasn't human. It had to be something else. And you know what? Some teenagers tried going in there. 3 of them. Tom, Joe, and Boy. They went in fearless. Brought a camera to film a video to show off. They went in the evening. The sky was overcast. Almost dark. As soon as they entered the building, Tom said he heard footsteps, asterisk thud. Thud. Asterisk like someone was running behind them. But when he turned around, nothing. Joe said he smelled blood. A strong smell. So bad he had to cover his nose. They thought it was a dead animal. But the smell moved. It followed them. As for Boy, he wandered off alone. To the doctor's quarters. The room where Dr. Pear used to stay. A room that's been locked for years. Tom and Joe said, when Boy opened that door, they heard a scream. A deafening scream. Asterisk ah. Asterisk, but it stopped abruptly. like it was cut off. They rushed to check, but boy was gone. The room was empty. Just a rocking chair, swaying back and forth, even though there was no wind. And on the floor, there were muddy footprints. A child's footprints. Why? It was too creepy. Tom and Joe ran out of the building. Didn't dare look back. And since then, no one's seen Boy again. He vanished without a trace. Just like Dr. Pear. The police searched, but found nothing. No signs of a struggle. Nothing. I went to see that building myself once. Didn't dare go inside. Just stood outside, by the rusty old fence. It was a windy day. The wind sounded like moaning. But just standing there, I felt like someone was watching me. From the third floor window, that broken window, I tried to look closely. Rubbed my eyes twice. But I saw nothing. Or did I? I'm not sure. It was like a shadow moved. A tall shadow. Like someone standing still. My heart was racing. I hurried home. Didn't dare look back. And that night, I had a nightmare. I saw a little girl in a hospital gown, her hair dripping wet, standing at the foot of my bed, staring at me with empty eyes, smiling, but a terrifying smile. I woke up drenched in sweat and heard dripping water. Asterisk drip. Drip, asterisk, even though there's no leak in my house. And the story gets weirder. It's not just Dr. Pear or Mew. Some say there's something else in that hospital. Something worse. I met an old lady, Aunt Somjit. She sells noodles about 200 meters from the building. She told me, back in the day, there was a male patient, Mr. Red, a chronic patient, seriously ill, lung infection. He died in that hospital. But before he died, he acted strange, talking to himself, saying, "It's coming. It's going to take me," his eyes rolling, hands gripping the bed. No one knew what it was. But after Mr. Red died, people saw a man's shadow, tall and thin, dragging one leg down the hallway, like it was broken. And every time it appeared, there was a stench, so bad it made people gag. Some said it smelled like a corpse. Aunt Somjit said, some nights, she heard knocking, asterisk thud, thud, asterisk coming from the building. Even though no one was there, the knocking was rhythmic, like someone wanted the door opened. She was terrified. She closed her shop and left, and never set up near that building again. She said she dreamed of Mr. Red too, standing in front of her shop, reaching out for money. But when she went to give it, his hand turned to bones. Why? Why is it so terrifying? And there's Big Sis NID too. A local reporter. She tried to investigate. Went in alone, with a camera and recorder. She said as soon as she entered, her chest felt heavy, like something was pressing down. She could barely breathe. And her recorder, it captured something strange. A woman crying, sob. Sob, a child laughing, he, and a man's voice saying, get out. Get out now, a hoarse voice. Like it came from a parched throat. NID said she didn't hear anything at the time. But when she listened at home, oh, God. She got chills and couldn't sleep. And her camera, it caught a dark shadow, like someone standing in the corner. But she hadn't seen anything then. NID stopped reporting on that building. Said, it's not worth my life. I heard other stories too. A young guy, a mechanic. One night, his car broke down near the hospital. It was pouring rain. He had to walk past the building. He said he saw a flickering light from the second floor, even though the building hasn't had electricity in years. He thought it was someone's flashlight. So he got closer. When he reached the fence, he heard a scream. A piercing scream. From upstairs. Ek freaked out. Goosebumps all over. He ran back to his car and drove off. But the next day, he found a handprint. A bloody handprint on his windshield. It wouldn't wash off, no matter how hard he scrubbed. Why? What happened there? And there's Teacher Kane. She taught kids in the area. She said one of her students, Fa, liked to tell strange stories. Said she saw a lady in white visit her house. A lady who smiled, but her eyes were empty. Her lips red like blood. Teacher Kane thought Fa was imagining things. Laughed it off. But one night, she visited Fa's house. A small, old wooden house. And heard knocking on the window, thud. Thud. Thud, in a rhythm. She pulled back the curtain. Nothing. But the window had fingerprints. Tiny ones. Like a child's. And in the corner of the glass, a red lipstick mark. In the shape of a smile. Teacher Kane was horrified. She took Fa to her own house. And after that, Fa never mentioned the lady in white again. But Teacher Kane said, some nights, She dreamed of a woman in white, standing outside her house, staring in with empty eyes. I dug deeper too, talked to Grandpa Germ, an old man from the area, almost 80. He said the hospital wasn't abandoned just because of Dr. Pear. Long before that, there was something awful. During the war, it was a place to hide bodies. Soldiers who died from disease, buried under the building. No ceremonies, just dug pits and tossed them in. And some nights, Grandpa heard moaning, *ugh, *, like people in pain, coming from the ground. He said he saw them too. Shadows, like soldiers, marching in rows, carrying rifles, but no faces. He was terrified. Said, "It's not just Dr. Pear's ghost. There are hundreds of ghosts still there. Why? Why are these things hidden there?" And there's Grandma Gold, a local fortune teller. She said someone asked her to read about the hospital. She lit incense, read cards, and saw visions. A little girl, a young doctor, and many soldiers. She said, "There's some kind of energy, an angry energy. It won't leave." She warned that anyone who goes in might be taken by it, and some might be pulled into another world, a dark world. I got chills listening. Why? Why is it so sinister? And there's Uncle Chai, a taxi driver. He said one night, a woman hailed his cab near the hospital, wearing white, long hair covering her face. He asked, "Where to?" She said, "Just forward," her voice so soft. He drove, but felt uneasy, because in the rearview mirror, he couldn't see her face, just the white dress. He turned to look. The seat was empty. He slammed the brakes. The car stopped, and he heard a whisper. "Thank you," he said. That was the night he stopped driving at night. Why? What was that? I met Ploy too, a high school girl. She said her friend, A.M., went to test her courage at the hospital. A.M. went with 2 friends, with a selfie stick, live streaming on social media. But during the stream, the camera caught something strange. A dark shadow behind A.M., but A.M. didn't notice. Viewers typed warnings. "Something's behind you. Run." But A.M. laughed. Thought her friends were pranking. Until the camera cut off, and A.M. disappeared. Her 2 friends ran out. Said they heard A.M. scream, but couldn't find her. Since then, Ploy never went near that building. Why? Why does this keep happening? And there's Brother OM, a freelance photographer. He went to shoot the building. Wanted some gritty, abandoned vibes. He said while shooting, he saw a shadow in his lens. A little girl, in a hospital gown, standing at the door. But when he lowered the camera, nothing. He thought he was seeing things. Kept shooting. But when he checked the photos at home, every image had that shadow. Some were clear, showing the girl's face. White eyes. A wide, creepy smile. OM was horrified. Deleted all the photos. And never went back. I talked to Brother Rabbit too, a municipal worker. He said there was a plan to demolish the building. But every time machines went in, they broke down. Bulldozers wouldn't start. Jackhammers failed mid-use. And the workers, some heard screams coming from inside the walls. Some saw shadows standing on the building, even though there was no way up. The demolition was cancelled. Rabbit said, "It's like something's protecting that building. Won't let anyone touch it. Why? Why is it like this?" And I found an old note, dropped near the fence, written in shaky handwriting. It said, "I didn't mean to. I just wanted to help. But she won't leave. She's still here. And she's angry. It's not just her. There's more. I can't escape. They follow me. Every night. I hear them. They knock on the door. They call my name." Was it Dr. Pear's note? Or someone else's? Why? Why does it sound so hopeless? And why does it mention they? To this day, that hospital still stands. Still abandoned. Still decaying. And people still hear strange things. Crying. Footsteps. Whispers. Knocking. Screams. Some say they see shadows. A doctor's shadow. A child's shadow. A man's shadow. Soldiers' shadows. Some smell things. Blood. Decay. Medicine. Smells that drift out from the building. I don't know if it's true. But one thing's certain. No one dares stay there past the first night. No one dares to prove it. And those who do, never come back to tell the tale. Alright. That's the story. Pretty long, huh? But I wanted you to know everything I know, every story I've heard. If you ever hear anything about this hospital, or if you're brave enough to go see it yourself, don't forget to tell me. But be careful, because sometimes you might not come back. And if you see something